Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. And we ended last recording on a little bit of a crash as we're running through the Kane and Lynch character pack here. We are almost completely done. We are going to continue the Mirror's Wake to see if there's any real cutscenes worth seeing. And then we're going to do Zealot Stronghold, which is the final boss battle, and see if there's any cutscenes worth seeing, and that's going to be it. One of the things that I did as I strive to be a better YouTuber and a better thing is I did some research on what the Kane and Lynch series was. Because as their characters, it seems like it might be kind of a fun, wild ride to go through it. So I looked up their game, and mostly speaking, it is at best an average game, both the first and second one. Just generally speaking, I'm not going to try to quote any actual scores or anything, but they did not get good scores. And the much more important story is that it turns out that the makers of Kane and Lynch, Rydo, almost certainly the same makers as this of the Tomb Raider series. Probably, I didn't double check that. They paid a lot of money to advertise Kane and Lynch on the website GameSpot. And there was this video game reviewer named Jeff Gersman, who is a pretty big reviewer, and he gave it a bad review. And then he got fired relatively quickly after that. And eventually, after the non-disclosure agreement that he had to sign, I'm sure when he started his job, ran out, he came about and said, yes, they specifically fired me, at least in part because I reviewed this Kane and Lynch badly, and the Rydos, the makers of Kane and Lynch, had spent so much money advertising with GameSpot that that they didn't like it, and they got me and they complained. Now, that was quite a few years ago, and I can speculatively say maybe GameSpot has changed a lot. I know Jeff Gersman went on later to create the very popular site Giant Bomb that was independent for a while, and then it got reacquired by CBS Interactive, which is the owner of, I believe, GameSpot too. So now the company that owns GameSpot also owns Giant Bomb, but to this day I still watch Giant Bomb, and I have never suspected that they've had any advertising influence them at all. So they're either doing a very good job of keeping that hidden, or it's just not happening. It certainly, as a YouTuber, makes me think maybe I shouldn't ever advertise video games, and it's probably the right thing. Just never advertise video games on video game review sites. Go with the Audible trials, go with the things that you see on like everything else, Dollar Shave Club type things that aren't related to your field at all. That way there cannot be any real conflict of interest if you have to do advertising at all. Ideally, you would get enough donations or ad revenue through other things that you would not need to directly advertise. Now, as a YouTuber right now, I have zero control really over what shows up on my channel. I think maybe I could go in there and take out the category of video games, but it's just one large click box, so then you wouldn't see any video games. So if you're seeing cell phone game ads, if you're seeing website game ads, I don't know what you're seeing. They don't tell me that. They just try to show you what would be most important to you, and if you're seeing video games, that means Google thinks that you like video games, So maybe I should go back and fix that at some point. I'll have to think about it, if I can even do it. So we were right at the end of this. This is going to be a short episode.
Hey! Good. We got him. He's trapped. He ain't going nowhere.
You are too late. Behold, the sunrise is upon us. This world will crumble at my feet, and you will be the first to die.
Go!
Lynch, I need your help.
Goddamn! You hear that? Goddamn!
So the reason why this is even slightly funny to me is that it is basically just a voice actor's cuss track, and I've seen some I think animes that did this too, where they just added a second dub track where they just cussed, and when you bleep it out, I find it pretty funny. And I'm still kind of interested in Kane and Lynch, at least in the general ideas, because it is a bunch of gangsters going around and trying to find money or something. So even though both the games didn't seem like they did that well, and I'm not sure there ever would be a third game, I still kind of, for historical reasons, would like to play the game, but now I know I'm more what I'm getting into more. So, final boss fight here. So, with the final boss fight, the arrow of light that we have is going to do a considerable amount of damage on him, so we're going to beat him really fast. First time you saw me beat him, it was a struggle. This time, not really. It's just kind of, you still have to somewhat, you have to play the game, you have to be on your shotgun when the spiders show up in this section, but otherwise it's fine. And now that I know you can roll away from these things, if you are on some of these lit up sections, you're not going to be in as much danger because you can just roll out of the way. So 1, 2. So that's one whole section is down with 2 arrows of light.
Face your
Versus the rocket launcher taking a lot of stuff. Now I'm just using gold rocket launcher. Don't want to get hit by that. You can shoot these guys while they're under there.
I will cast you into
This one is kind of difficult. You just have to see, carefully move. Keep an eye on it, see if anything's gonna light up. Barely have to move at all. Almost got hit there, because I was not paying enough attention. 1, 2. He's down again. I believe that means we're done with this fight. So we put down our mine.
I approve by your games.
It's a shame Temple of Osiris wasn't included, and it wasn't a better game. I would really like to play that, but now it's going to be on this weird, at the very end of my list, because of all the games I could buy, a sequel to this game is not going to probably grab very many views. It's not going to probably help that much. So we just need to wait for him to fall and hit him once. There we are. That's one phase.
My army awakens!
Shotgun here, put the shotgun is a little bit dangerous to get in this area. I must have taken some damage at some point. I probably took damage from the poison gas that would make all the sense. So that as
Die!
done.
You will not stop me.
Again.
This world will be consumed by my power.
If I was trying for the maximum score on this, which is 140,000, you are gonna have to be careful about not taking damage. You are gonna have to keep that in consideration. But since we're just trying to see the Kane and Lynch cutscenes, that's fine. I'm halfway tempted. I'm not gonna do it, but I'm halfway tempted to start the Kane and Brazil thing. But I tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look up what game series they're from and try to figure out what story that is all about. And then next recording we will start that one. It will be very short, like this one. We're just gonna run through everything to see the cutscenes.
The darkness is almost upon us.
For this DLC. As a review of a DLC, I really can't speak highly to this, just because of what you're getting and how little it is. Come on. Hit him once. That's all it took. One hit gets me fully charged, so why did I pick up those bullets before? I don't know. This guy is just going through them. There we go. So that's the first phase done. Now with full charge I can just throw these straight at him. Gotta watch out for these balls of lava that will come from the ceiling. The assumption here is that
I will have my revenge.
he is throwing them, but it doesn't really ever seem like it.
You will now witness the power of a true god.
It would have been nice if they were going to stretch this game out to a longer game, that we would have gotten some information, either a glossary, a dictionary, an actual history of where they got this story, because this might actually be a real story of like a Mayan tradition or something. Like, how would I know? Guess I'm gonna have to go to my shotgun here because this guy is causing me trouble. I can't hit him fast enough with the arrow. There we go, one more. There we go, and I shoot him in the back. And he falls over. He didn't even get to his third phase.
How can this be?
Wait a sec!
Old piece of shit.
No!
So, we'll just continue right to the credits now, since it's only been about 14 minutes in this recording. This game was made by Crystal Dynamics, which probably means they shopped out the company to make this, and I don't believe Crystal Dynamics makes the Tomb Raider series, which is fine. This is a completely different style of game. Number of artists is strange that there's like 6 artists and only 2 animators. Seems like maybe they couldn't get on board on what to call themselves. 2 audio engineers, probably not that big of a deal. Designers 5, producers 2, programmers 5. That's a really small team for what got done here. Additional art, additional design, additional production, additional programming. Alright, let's see how long this additional programming list is. 15 more guys. That's starting to knock it up a little bit higher. The Nixus software, which I don't know what the Nixus software is. And then you have some people here that are global brand. So basically, they probably did very little to this game, but they're getting their name on it anyways. And then you have your quality assurance people, which probably needed more of those because there was definitely a few bugs about how this game crashes. Again, it could just be my computer, and the fact that I'm recording and playing this at the same time, but I don't know. So, studio now. You're just gonna name everybody at the studio. That is an interesting thought. I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but you're just naming people. Are you including the janitor at the studio? Are you including the guy that brings in the cokes? Additional support. Special thanks to Crystal Dynamics. And then thanks to several people. Family and friends. Okay, so like I was saying, you're probably gonna get this DLC for free if you get this game. But if you were gonna pay any money for it, I would seriously not do it. And I think I'm gonna probably end up saying that for all the DLC. Even the challenge packs don't feel like they'd be worth even 99 cents because they're not balanced. And they feel like they should have been balanced and put in the regular game to make the regular game longer. And I'm barely even to the point where I would say play the regular game. It's fine. It's a fine game if you love Lara Croft. If you've played all the other Lara Croft games and you want to play something new, that's great. But you don't have a lot to look forward to. The sequel to this is Temple of Osiris. The newest Lara Croft in the Lara Croft series is Lara Croft Go, which is kind of in the Go series more than the Lara Croft series because it is a very different game. It is not real-time action at all. It's a puzzle game. Looks like it would be pretty fun to play on a cell phone, but it's so short from what I've heard that it's probably not worth buying that anyway. So I'm not sure there's any small Tomb Raider or Lara Croft experience that's worth playing. I think you're at best for a regular player gonna tell them go play the Tomb Raider 2013 reboot, and if the sequel to that when it comes out is good, play that, and let those be the only Tomb Raider experiences you have right now. This is saying copyright Square Enix 2010. So this came before the 2013 reboot, which explains why all the graphics are of the old style Lara Croft that they aren't using anymore, of the blue shirt and the hot pants. Seizure warning right at the end of the credits after everything else. Quite a long seizure warning too. Jeez. Why would you have something that long and then put it way at the end? You're just trying to hide it. It would be very interesting if I heard from somebody who actually did suffer seizures and try to play games. I assume anybody that does have very easily triggered seizures would just not watch TV much or play video games at all. That would be my assumption. That it would just be so risky and so unfun that I don't see why they would even risk it. But I bet there is somebody out there that loves video games so much. So we didn't get anything unlocked for this. There was no new levels. All we did is see a rather small amount of cutscenes and played as Kane and Lynch. And I think that's who we played as. So I can't really say actually purchase this. It's not worth it. And I don't think those are worth it, and it's probably going to be exactly the same for Brazil. And so that's kind of, I know video game companies hate this when this becomes the fact of the matter is, but me playing it and putting it on YouTube is probably the best way that they can expose people to this thing, because I don't think very many people should or will get those extra animations. And the animations really dried up after about the Jaws of Death. We didn't see any cutscenes really of any note. Those all got dropped, and that inherently limits the story down to almost nothing. It would be nice if they just had some, like, in the help, just like the history of Lara Croft, what was going on in the original before the reboot, anything like that that would just explain some things. Who is Toltec? Who is Zolati? Is this really based on a real story? Or just, can you even show me or talk for a paragraph about the Mayan culture in general? Well, we've been going 22 minutes and we're just gonna get a short one, because there really is nothing more to say. It's so small. So small it can't be really worth it, can it? Anywho, that's it for this recording. Tomorrow we will start a quick run through the final DLC, and then we'll be done. We're really stretching it out. For as long, if you're sitting through all these and thinking this is kind of long, remember that there was a lot of footage I could have recorded in which I went back and played this. Even though I've beaten this, you can beat the whole game in less than an hour and 30 minutes. I probably spent about 10 hours playing this game, just doing the levels over and over again to unlock almost everything. There is one thing in, I believe, one ammo increase here that I haven't collected, but not really worth it either. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.